I'm coming out of commentary semi-retirement to yell at all of the men on this platform, the men and the pick-me's. So, people are currently discussing the Tana Mongeau, Cody situation. My first thought, I've got to be honest, is it really took a man speaking about this for people to pay attention. And that's no shade to D'Angelo Wallace. I'm not that stupid. I'm not going to make fun of D'Angelo Wallace, because clearly he could actually destroy my career. No, fair enough to him for doing the video on it. But the cowardly response of bigger creators, now that D'Angelo Wallace has done his video, never mind the fact that Rachel Oates did a video a few days ago, last week, on it. Or Trisha was talking about this a month ago. And then like a few weeks ago with Tana Mongeau. Never mind that Tana mentioned this 2 years on her podcast, and I was going to pretend that I don't know the podcast name. I have an eidetic parasocial memory. It's like the Ashley and Imari episode of her podcast where she's drunk with her Vegas friends and she mentions it. No, it really took, but why are you complaining? At least people are talking about it. At least people, yeah, okay, but two things can run concurrent, right? Two things can be true. It's good people are talking about this and the power imbalance and dynamics between a 25-year-old content creator sleeping with an underage, in like the state of Florida, 17-year-old content creator. But we can also discuss why people only find it validated just because a bloke brought up. Fair play to, yeah, he's not just a bloke. That's quite reductive. You know what I mean, though. So for those of you that don't know, Tana Mongeau mentioned 2 years ago that there were rumours before then that she and Cody had a brief thing, or at least they slept together.
And that's not right. That's not correct. I know now. I was 17 at the time, 18. Like, that's not what you do. But at the time, it was just like, oh, you think I'm this and you're treating me and calling me all these names and treating me really horribly. And so I started kind of hooking up with other people. Shout out JC Kalen. Shout out Cody Co.
She mentioned it 2 years ago on her podcast. And then recently on her tour, she mentioned it in this quick fire game round where she said that he had a small dick. I don't care. I don't care that she said it. Not that I don't care if he has a small penis. I mean, well, I guess I don't care either way, right? And she said, it's fine, I can say it. I was 17 at the time.
Who's the smallest you've ever had sex with?
Oh my God, no one look at me, Cody Co. I can say that. I was literally 17, I can say that.
So that started doing the rounds, and then she spoke on her podcast, which I do listen to quite religiously, where she spoke more about it with her assistant and sometimes guest co-host Paige, about how she can look back at that and see that it was wrong, even though at the time she thought that she was mature. And she doesn't feel victimized, but only because there are instances in her life where she does feel traumatized or victimized from it.
However, I understand that this isn't just some crazy tea. It was a crime.
Yeah.
I hooked up with Cody Co when I was 17 and he was 25. Yeah, it happened.
It's honestly disgusting. And I also think when you're that age, you think you know everything and you think you're way more mature than you actually are.
So as I said, female content creators have done videos about this. I think those spill tea channels have to. That's another thing, isn't it? It's always tea and drama and gossip channels when it's women doing commentary, but when it's boys doing commentary, it's commentary because it's serious, even though it's a bunch of men gossiping. Saw that with the I'm Alex stuff. I was complaining about that to my mates years ago. That group of, oh, but they're commentary. No, they're literally gossiping. But if I do it, it's tea. Shut up. I'm just not in the mood. I lost all my show months ago permanently. I'm not in the mood. Female content creators were already discussing this. D'Angelo Wallace makes a video. Now people care. There was a response from Critical. It's difficult because even though he's a straight man against my better judgment, I do like Critical. I say that, and then like most of my friends are straight men, but none of them are fucking weirdos, so it's okay. He did a video talking about it, and it's called The Cody Co situation is crazy, and there's something that I want to react to.
I haven't seen a single channel over 1 million subscribers do so much as acknowledge that this situation exists. The same channels that were rightfully calling out people like Dr. Disrespect for texting a minor, which are the same channels that are now completely ignoring a scenario with an even bigger creator being accused of doing something much worse.
D'Angelo is very right for that. I'll allow him. I'll allow him into our club.
D'Angelo Wallace makes a point a couple times in this video about the silence on this subject being staggering, considering in the YouTube ecosystem there's tons of commentary channels that'll cover a wide variety of topics, sometimes rumors, that aren't nearly this serious. And yet, somehow, a story that's this serious just slips through the cracks and didn't have many people talking about it until very recently.
It did, though. We'll get to it.
So I'd like to at least take a quick moment here to explain why I hadn't covered it. Now, I did hear the whispers about this Cody Co allegation about a week ago now.
Lord, bro be yapping. And they say us women talk a lot. Did somebody order a yappuccino? I heard that earlier today. Love it.
When it came to the Cody Co thing with the Reddit post, by the time I got to it, it was deleted. So I kind of assumed that maybe the claims were just baloney, and I didn't see a whole lot of chatter about it. I saw a couple of tweets that loosely talked around it, vaguely, and I just didn't look into it deeper than that.
Bullshit! And I like Critical, I do. I have heard that he's a lovely bloke, really sound. Granted, I've heard that from other blokes, and I'm trying not to put too much stock in the opinions of blokes. Again, kidding. Like, most of my friends are boys. Someone help me. Someone send me more girl mates. Bullshit. That I can believe he was directed to a Reddit thread that was then deleted. But have you seen the many, many other Reddit threads or topics in subreddits like Tana Mongeau's podcast subreddit? Or they get deleted very frequently, but they've been popping up in the Cody Co subreddit, even though it's been censored, they've still been popping up. It's been over Reddit, it's been over TikTok, it's been over Twitter. Now, if this was someone else, maybe I'd be like, oh, maybe he just didn't see it. But Critical, with peace and love, is so chronically online. He uploads like 1 to 3 YouTube videos a day. He's always on stream. He's always doing... And also the fact that like... I was directed to one Reddit thread and then I just didn't research into it further. It took D'Angelo Wallace having to make a video with research, granted, for me to take this seriously. What a load of rubbish. Critical put more thought and effort into his video about Terrence Teriology bloke than this. I, for one, look, who is he to care about my opinion? I'm just a lowly woman probably gossiping. But I, for one, don't believe that. I also don't believe that his chat only spoke about it a week ago, because I've seen apparently various people's chats have been full of this for weeks, of people who have collaborated with Cody or whatever. So I don't particularly buy it, and I think it's a bit of a weak excuse. And again, takes another man for a bloke to finally speak up. I know that Hassan has just caught on to this too, but you know what? I will give him a little bit more leeway, considering he mainly does politics and Donald Trump did just get shot. So I'll give him far more grace. Also, I'm not just coming for blokes, right? As much as I'd like to. I'm coming for pick-me women as well. So, some of you might know where this is going. Brittany Broski had something to say. I'm crushed to learn about the Cody allegations. If it's proven to be true, if it's proven to be true, then that's extremely upsetting as a collaborator and longtime fan. I find all of this disturbing, inappropriate, and just flat out disappointing. If proven to be true. Brittany, you are a renowned pick-me. I don't care much for you. Not me taking out like all my anger on these people. They're never going to see it, don't matter. If it's proven to be true, why has she said if? Because she's still fence-sitting. Why is she still fence-sitting? Because maybe, and Brittany, you are never beating the pick-me allegations. Maybe Cody might be able to squirm his way out of this one. And then if he does, the if leaves room for her to collaborate with him again in future. You know what's funny? And again, I listen to the Cancelled podcast. Look, sometimes Tana Mongeau is my hyperfixation. She has been for years. She's the only YouTuber I would say I have a very parasocial dynamic with. I've criticised her. You can see there's a plethora of videos on my channel of me criticising her with peace and love and humour. I hope. I don't know. I dare look at them. Especially dare look at the ones where I first started to get lip filler and they were like this. I've criticised her, yet I have found her compelling since the iDubbbz scenario. iDubbbz incident. Sometimes she bothers me, so I unfollow, but then I always end up following her again because it's a toxic one-sided relationship that I can't get out of. I find her very compelling, entertaining when she's, do you know what, she's entertaining most of the time, even if she's being slightly controversial. There, I said it. So I listen to the podcast, and I know that Brittany Broski is someone that apparently is nice to Tana at parties, yeah, but won't ever go on her podcast because like her fans wouldn't like it. But then this same Brittany Broski is just really going out of her way to collaborate with dog shit men. Or controversial men, maybe that's nicer to say. So, like, you'll collaborate with controversial men, but you won't collaborate with a controversial woman. Why? What's the difference? You know, they keep complaining on Cancelled about no one wants to go on their podcast. I would go on their podcast in a heartbeat. They would never have me, though. But I would. I would rather take the side of a controversial woman over a controversial man any day of the week. And I'm saying that now. Don't retroactively use that against me if I've said different in the past. So, Brittany Broski, shut up. You pick me. I hope you get picked. I really do. I still hope all the pick-me's get picked. Apart from one or two. Not going to get into it. God, shall we even get into the misogyny? So, here's the thing. You really do, after a while, after a few years, cultivate your own audience. Like I've cultivated an audience, like to think fairly progressive, a little bit feminist, but also won't get mad at me if I'm laughing at something a little bit edgy. I've cultivated that audience. I like weaned it. That's not the right, pruned it over time. So the fact that, you know, Tana said this and people in the droves, Cody Ko's audience in the droves were going out of their way to be misogynistic, to slut shame, to just not believe her, etc., etc. Really shows something about him, doesn't it? And Rachel and I were talking. She did a video on Girl Defined, and she said she can see why Girl Defined get fed up of some of the criticism they get, especially when it's just thinly veiled misogyny, aka Cody Ko's videos.
Yeah, fuck these girls. Yeah.
And her just saying that, apparently she was getting so much hate from people being like, no, like he wouldn't be like that. The parasocial is parasocialing. The people saying, why is she bringing this up now? It was 8 years ago. I've noticed in the past year or so, bar that wine lady incident and the H3 live show incident, her frontal lobe has really kicked in. I've noticed that when I turned 25, a few months into it, I was like, oh shit. Oh, right, okay, yeah, I matured too. And you can see that she's matured over the past year, a lot more than 3 or 4 years ago. So of course, and also she's 26 now, so of course she's going to look at herself being 26 or being 25 and realising that no, she wouldn't have slept with, she's not going to sleep with a 17-year-old at her big age. But Cody Ko was a man who had, what had he, gone to university, got a degree, got a job, and then slept with someone who should have still been in high school. Funny. I also can't help but think, when I was a teenager, we simply did not have conversations around this at all. We barely had conversations around consent. And we didn't have conversations around, because people are really getting stuck in the technicalities of like, well, maybe it's legal here, maybe it's legal there. It doesn't really matter. Legality don't equal morality. And if you have to hinge your argument on a technicality, I feel like you've kind of already lost. We never had these discussions. And I remember being 15 and a girl in my group, she had a boyfriend who was like 24, I think, and we were all like, didn't really have an opinion either way. And look, I was a teenager not like that long ago. I was a teenager like 2 years ago, and then it turns out the boyfriend was lying, and he was actually like 32 or something. And we were like, oh, that's weird. But we didn't have the terms or the conversation or the ability to really intellectualize or articulate what was so fucked up about that. Whereas now we could be like, holy shit, what? So it's interesting. It's good that these conversations are reaching a broad audience, and yet it's still disheartening to see people be like, oh, who cares, it's Tana Mongeau, because she's not this. People have this idea that a predator is someone sneaking around a back alley who's going to like wrestle a innocent pure virgin and steal their virginity away from them or something. When no, most cases of assault or coercion happen by people you know, to people you know. She's also loud, brash, and opinionated. I know the term perfect victim has been thrown around here, but that's kind of what this case is. She's not a demure woman whose innocence was stolen. She's Tana Mongeau, so people are so much more flippant with it than they would be with... Imagine if Emma Chamberlain came out and said this about Cody Co, that when she was 17 and Cody Co was 25, 26, whatever it was, that he slept with her. It would be a completely different outcry and story. Brings me to my next point, because the people saying, oh, only gained traction recently, even though no, it's been a thing online. I can admit that some people might not be looking, that's fine, but then like the average person maybe. But when you're getting these takes from very chronically online people, I'm a bit chronically online. I wake up, first thing I do, flick through TikTok. Very bad habit, I know. I'm depressed, leave me alone. Chronically online people having this take isn't going to cut it with me. I'm chronically online. That's how I heard about this stuff or knew that she was joking about it 2 years ago, and it got more serious recently. Like Trisha Paytas has been doing a podcast about it and it's had like 500,000 views. Behave.
Thing that was actually really heartbreaking to me and kind of crazy to me is after it started going viral, like seeing so many people like not believing me and being like, it's Tana, so who cares, it's this. And then I just started to feel bad for so many other girls who maybe look up to me and want to speak their truth, and then see the way people like just don't believe people and
like if Critical and Brittany and all the other chronically online people are flabbergasted to hear this, wait till they hear about how Jason Nash like cornered her in a changing room when she was 18 and he was in his big 40s and tried to kiss her. And there was vlog evidence of it too, not of the thing taking place, but straight afterwards of her saying, oh my God, he just tried to kiss me, and she's laughing it off. And it's like, imagine that. Imagine being 18. If you can remember, I can. It was just yesterday. And imagine a much older man cornering you in a changing room, trying to kiss you. That would be a bit scary, wouldn't it?
I would love to roll up with you in carpool.
I would be such a good stepmom.
That would be a shocker to the ex-wife, I'll tell you that much. A bit of an awkward moment. We went into the dressing room. First of all, last night Big Nick was like, dude, she wants to dude. Look, this is what happened. Tana called me, and I was like, do you want to do a thing? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I think she's great. Right, and my first pitch was, great, let's do like a dad makeover or something. And then she goes, let's go on a date.
But I said like a vlog date, like a where we pretend to go on a date for clickbait.
You're trying to sleep with Jason?
No!
In my mind, I was like, if I don't try something, it's gonna eat me alive.
What would you do?
For the rest, I leaned in for a kiss.
He pecked my mouth. I was so confused.
But now he's begging for money on TikTok from little kids instead of, I don't know, getting a job. Or wait till you hear about how there was apparently someone else who slept with her when she was 17 and they were a bit older. It's all online for people to find. I just don't feel comfortable saying the name of that because I'm not sure how publicised it is. God, am I a hypocrite? No, it's the men who are wrong. Or even look at how Shane Dawson was acting with her. This is someone who, she got very big and popular at such an early age, and she's been almost systematically taken advantage of, whether sexually, non-sexually, platonically. She's been taken advantage of by much older men for a long time. So I don't care if, oh, it was 8 years ago, why are you talking about it now? Because she's had the time to process it, and so what? Talk away. Speak with your chest. Where's the evidence? What do you want, a sex tape? Is that what you want? You're not going to get it. And D'Angelo covered it in his video that Gabby Hanna mentioned it in her podcast a long time ago as well. And here's another thing that's a bit nitpicky. This begrudging, subtle attitude of having to preface defending Tana Mongeau by saying, because what did Critical do in his video? He kept saying, this doesn't sound like something she would lie about for fun. As a watcher of Tana Mongeau's podcast and her channel, she's not actually lied about anything for quite a while, like a good few years. She exaggerates the hell out of things. That's what the wine lady tour scandal was about, her just exaggerating like crazy. Yeah, she exaggerates. So does Brooke. It's kind of part of their brand, but she's not the type of person who would just completely fabricate hooking up with someone who is much older with the intention of getting them told off. I don't think she actually lies about stuff anymore because she probably learned that she can't really get away with it because the internet has a long memory. Even the iDubbbz scandal, where she was saying about what happened and she was exaggerating, saying that he put a hand on my neck and then he was like trying to fight people. Massive exaggeration, like not true, it turns out, because there was the video of it. And people really took that and ran with it as, oh, well, look at you, you stupid XYZ, blah, blah, blah. God, I would know, it's embarrassing. I was one of those people. The only way I found out about Tana Mongeau in the first place was because of the iDubbbz thing. So I used to follow him because I used to follow Filthy Frank because I loved Filthy Frank. I was young too once, guys. Shut up. But after a few years and when my frontal lobe kicked in, I looked at that situation and went, well, hang on. Yeah, she lied, exaggerated the finer details of that. But he still went to her show and said a slur in front of her to elicit some sort of reaction or response. Like, he still did that. And yet he caused millions of people to have a go at her for exaggerating, which she did. But he actually did the bad thing. Oh, to show her up for being hypocritical. Yeah, she was 18. Like, when he did that, I mean. Not when she was saying slurs, but she was younger. She was 18, and he was, like, 26, buying a meet and greet ticket to her. Like, my frontal lobe redeveloped when I realised, no, that was actually totally fucked up, that entire situation. Ew. So, not really liked him ever since. Like, I think I was 24 or 25 when I realised that. And so I was already younger than he was when he did the thing. Anyway, this situation sucks. Cody is being a massive coward, hiding behind his wife and child, apparently. And it's the way people his fan base are defending him. Of course they're going to do that. But it's also the way that people just defend the most mid of men. But a woman steps one little inch out of line. That's it. Career over. I just really wanted to do a video mainly to point out the hypocrisy of people only noticing because a bloke has made it highly publicised. Which at least D'Angelo uses his powers for good. He uses his platform for good, I will say that. So I suppose it's more of an issue with the... But yeah, the men and the pick-me's pretending that they'd never heard about any of this, bar a little rumour, until just 24 hours ago. Behave, please. We are also chronically online. Like, it's our job to be... I don't do commentary so much anymore. I'm coming out of retirement just to yell at men. It's their job to be quite online. Like that. Wait, but there was I think H3 has been speaking out about this too for a while, and Brittany Broski goes on to H3 sometimes. Like, shut up. You didn't know. Behave, all of you. Except D'Angelo. I'd like to keep my subscribe count, please. And Rachel. And Vangelina. No one else gets a pass. Anyway, that's all for today's video. I had some feelings. I wanted to share them. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Unless you're going to be misogynistic, in which case go... Surely I can think of something more threatening to say than eat my shorts.
Eat my shorts.
All right, I'll eat your shorts.
Yeah, eat my shorts. Butt man, butt man.
Whatever, eat my shorts. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. I have memberships on this channel now, so check that out. I treat the community tab like it's my private, which I guess it is, Twitter. So yeah, check that out. Follow me on Instagram. Tana Mongeau, invite me on your podcast. I'll say that yes. See you guys next time. Bye.